Trump's new tariffs are not just a global economic headline, they're a regional economic reckoning. While Washington talks trade policy, the real winners and losers are being sorted by zip code. The 2025 tariff strategy is reshaping America's economic geography, and here's how. In April 2025, the Trump administration announced a two-pronged tariff strategy. First, a universal 10% tariff on all imported goods. This move isn't country-specific. It's a structural shift, redefining America's default trade stance from open market to guarded entry. Second, the introduction of reciprocal tariffs. Like, India often charges high tariffs up to 52% on U.S. goods. Now, the U.S. is hitting back with a 26% tariff on Indian imports. It's not a mirror image, but it's a signal, a discounted version of reciprocity. Predictably, foreign governments responded quickly. China responded with a sweeping 34% tariff on all U.S. goods, targeting American exports across sectors, from soybeans to semiconductors. Europe hinted at sectoral retaliation, focused on aviation, spirits, and luxury goods. Mexico and India followed with targeted counter-duties. This wasn't tit for tat. It was systemic. The U.S. tariff structure no longer looked like a scalpel. It looked like a hammer, and foreign governments adjusted accordingly. Let's talk domestic fallout. Red states dominate America's commodity export economy. States like Iowa, Nebraska, Texas, and the Dakotas form the backbone of U.S. exports in soybeans, beef, wheat, cotton, and crude oil. These goods are high volume, low margin, and deeply reliant on foreign markets. In 2024, China imported over $15 billion U.S. agricultural products, with soybeans leading the chart. With China's 34% retaliatory tariff, Midwest grain is now uncompetitive. That hurts not just farmers, but entire rural supply chains. Rail logistics, grain elevators, rural banks, and equipment dealers. Texas faces similar disruption. LNG exports to Asia? Now costlier. Cattle exports? Slashed by retaliatory duties. The result? An internal economic contraction in states that are, ironically, among Trump's strongest political backers. Now contrast that with industrial blue states. Like Michigan, Ohio, and Pennsylvania have large consumer bases and vertically integrated manufacturing ecosystems. Their exports are often high-value finished goods. Cars, pharmaceuticals, medical devices. These states import vast amounts of parts, especially from Mexico, Germany, and China. Tariffs on inputs could raise production costs, but with blanket 10% tariffs applied to everyone, all competitors are equally squeezed. That levels the playing field. And in some sectors like auto parts, even favors domestic producers. Some manufacturers may relocalize supply chains to avoid tariff exposure entirely, creating a medium-term job bump in places like Flint or Allentown. This is why the response from organized labor has been mixed. Cautious optimism from some union leaders in industrial states, frustration from transport and port unions in coastal red regions. Irony? The hardest-hit states are also Trump's most loyal. These tariffs are strategically nationalist, but economically regressive for rural America. Farmers and oilmen who voted for stronger borders now face weaker global demand. Meanwhile, blue state manufacturers, some of whom opposed Trump's trade rhetoric, may quietly benefit from reshoring, regional production clusters, and insulated supply chains. Creates a fundamental dissonance. A tariff policy that protects American production, but redistributes the benefits away from the states that delivered electoral support. What's the game plan? Trump isn't trying to fix the old trade system. He's replacing it. His strategy shifts the U.S. from a globalist model to a leverage-based model, using market access as a bargaining chip. He's also signaling to domestic firms, don't rely on imports. Build here, sell here. To Trump, short-term regional pain is worth long-term national gain. But this assumes that red state exporters can absorb the blow long enough to see the recovery. It's a risky calculus, and one that could rewire political alliances if the economic fallout deepens. The tariff game isn't just about trade. It's about territory, leverage, and political futures. Whether it works or backfires, one thing is clear. America's economic map may never look the same again. Comment, how should America balance fair trade with fair impact? And which state do you think will win or lose in the tariff war?